What I am about to share was deliberately removed from the teachings of Christ. The early church buried it. Religious institutions refused to speak of it, because this knowledge, once remembered, dismantles every structure built to keep you asleep. Jesus spoke of objects, physical items, things that rest in your home right now, and most of them you invited in yourself. This message is not for everyone. Many will leave before the truth is revealed. Their frequency is not yet ready. But if you are still here, if something in your chest tightened just now, you are exactly who this was meant for. You are not watching this by accident. You are being called. Before we go any deeper, ask yourself, how many moments like this have passed you by? How many doors did you almost walk through, only to turn away at the threshold? This is not entertainment. This is remembrance. If you leave now, you may never find this frequency again. Subscribe. Stay connected. Let this be the moment you finally chose yourself. There are 5 categories of objects that Archons use to harvest your energy while you sleep, while you pray, while you try to heal. And the 5th one is in nearly every bedroom on this planet. Jesus understood something the religious system could never allow you to know. He knew the material world was not the enemy. He knew the body was not a prison. But he also knew certain objects act as receivers. They tune your energy field to frequencies that do not serve you. They create openings, not for demons in the way religion taught you to fear, but for archonic interference, subtle, persistent, draining. This is why you cleanse your mind. This is why you guard your thoughts. But your environment, your physical space, that part was hidden from you. Until now, you have felt this, the exhaustion that makes no sense, waking up more tired than when you slept, a heaviness in certain rooms, a fog that follows you even after meditation. You blamed yourself. You thought your practice was weak, but it was never you. Something in your space has been working against your frequency. You sensed it. You just did not have the words. Now you do. The objects are common. That is what makes them so effective. You do not suspect what you see every day. You do not question what you are given with love. And that is exactly how they remain. Some were inherited. Some were gifted. Some you purchased without knowing what followed them. Each one carries a frequency signature, and some signatures open doors that should remain closed. In the next passage, I will reveal the first category, the one that reflects more than your image. And once you understand what it truly does while you sleep, you will never look at it the same way again. The first object is one you see every day. It hangs on your wall. It rests beside your bed. It watches you dress, watches you sleep, watches you in your most vulnerable states. A mirror. In the suppressed Gospels, reflective surfaces were understood differently than today. They were not simply glass and coating. They were considered portals, thresholds, points where dimensions could overlap. The ancients covered mirrors during death, during sleep, during ritual. They knew something modern humanity has forgotten. A mirror does not only reflect light, it holds energy. It stores impressions. It creates a duplicate field, a subtle echo of everything it witnesses. Stay with me here, because what comes next changes how you see your own bedroom. When you sleep in front of an uncovered mirror, your energy field remains exposed. not to physical danger, but to energetic duplication. Archonic forces do not need to enter your body. They only need access to your reflection. Through that reflection, they observe your patterns. They feed on your dreams. They amplify your fears back into your subconscious while you rest. You wake up drained, anxious, heavy, and you never suspected the mirror. Think now. How many mirrors face your bed, your meditation space, your place of prayer? How long have they been there, silently collecting, silently transmitting? This is not superstition. This is why you have struggled to hold your frequency in your own home. The solution is simple. Cover them at night. Remove them from sacred spaces. Reclaim the field that belongs to you. But mirrors are only the first category. The second object is far more subtle, and it likely sits in your home right now, disguised as decoration. Water is alive. It carries memory. It absorbs frequency. It responds to intention, emotion, and environment. This is not mysticism. This is what science has begun to confirm. But here is what they do not teach you. When water becomes stagnant, it does not simply lose freshness. It becomes a collector. Decorative fountains that no longer run. Vases with old water sitting for weeks. Bowls left, forgotten in corners. These are not harmless. Stagnant water holds low-frequency energy. It becomes dense. It attracts what vibrates at its level. In ancient practice, water was either flowing or emptied, never left to sit and gather what moves through your space unseen. Archonic energies do not create, they accumulate. And stagnant water is one of their favorite resting places. If you have felt a thickness in your home that prayer could not clear, keep listening. You have walked past these vessels 100 times. You forgot they were there. That is exactly the point. What is forgotten is unguarded. What is unguarded becomes a doorway. That vase on your shelf, that fountain you stopped running months ago, that glass of water beside your bed you never changed. Each one has been absorbing, storing, waiting. Empty them. Cleanse the vessels. Let fresh water flow or remove them entirely. Your home is not just a physical structure. It is an extension of your energy body. What lives in your space lives in your field. I know life pulls you in many directions, but consider this. How many times have you sensed something was wrong and did nothing? How many warnings from your own soul have you dismissed as imagination? Do not let this moment become another one. Subscribe now. Stay connected to this transmission. Your awakening depends on what you do with what you learn. The third object is different. It was given to you by someone you trust, perhaps even someone you love. And that is exactly what makes it dangerous. The third object is one you may have treasured for years. It was handed down through your family line. Perhaps it belonged to a grandmother. Perhaps it was given to you at a ceremony, a baptism, a moment of religious significance. A crucifix, a rosary, a statue, a religious icon passed from generation to generation. You assumed it carried blessing. You assumed its history made it sacred. But not all inheritance is clean. Objects absorb the energy of those who held them. They carry emotional imprints, unresolved prayers, and sometimes attachments that never belonged to you. This is the hidden weight many chosen ones carry without knowing. You honor your lineage. You keep what was given out of love and loyalty. But some of these objects were held during suffering, during confusion, during spiritual battles that were never resolved. That energy did not disappear. It transferred. And now it sits in your home, radiating frequencies that conflict with your awakening. This does not mean your ancestors meant harm. It means they passed on what they themselves never healed. Stay with me, because this is where your freedom begins. The solution is not to discard what you love carelessly. It is to cleanse consciously. Pray over these objects. Reconsecrate them with your own intention, or release them with gratitude if they no longer serve your path. You are allowed to honor your bloodline without carrying its wounds. You are allowed to love what was given while choosing what remains in your field. This is your home. This is your frequency. This is your awakening. Nothing has permission to stay that lowers what God is raising within you. I know this truth may feel uncomfortable. Perhaps it challenges something you have held sacred. But how many times has your loyalty to the past delayed your freedom? How many objects have you protected while they quietly drained you? Do not scroll past this moment. Subscribe now. Comment that you are ready for cleansing. Let this message be the turning point your soul has been requesting. The fourth object is not ancient. It is modern. It glows. It fits in your palm. And you look at it more than you look at anything else in your life. Your screens, phones, tablets, televisions, laptops, devices that promise connection but deliver something far more costly. This is not a message against technology. This is a warning about unguarded portals. Every screen is a doorway. What enters through it does not stop at your eyes. It moves into your mind, your emotions, your nervous system, your dreams. You have felt this. The anxiety after scrolling, the heaviness after hours of content, the strange fog that settles after watching what you cannot even remember choosing. This is not coincidence. This is frequency interference. Archonic influence does not always arrive through the supernatural. Sometimes it arrives through autoplay, through algorithms designed to trigger your wounds, through content that agitates, divides, and destabilizes your inner peace. If you have wondered why your spiritual practice feels blocked lately, look at your screen time. What you consume is what consumes you. What you watch watches you back. If this is resonating, do not ignore what your spirit is confirming right now. The solution is not to abandon technology. It is to reclaim sovereignty over what enters your field. Before you watch, ask, does this elevate me or deplete me? Before you scroll, pause. Is this feeding my awakening or numbing it? Set boundaries. Create sacred hours without screens. Cleanse your digital environment like you would cleanse your physical one. Your attention is sacred currency. Stop spending it on what steals your light. The fifth and final object is still ahead, and it is the one that affects you most intimately. It may be the hardest to recognize because it came wrapped in something that looked like love. The fifth object is the most difficult to recognize. It did not arrive looking dangerous. It arrived wrapped in celebration, in affection, in what appeared to be generosity, a gift. But not all gifts are given freely. Some carry invisible strings. Some hold the energy of expectation, control, or resentment, disguised as kindness. Some were given by people who did not wish you well, even if their words said otherwise. This is the hidden truth about objects that enter your space through others. Energy follows intention. and intention does not always match presentation. You have received things that felt wrong from the moment you held them. Your body tensed, your spirit hesitated, but your mind overruled, saying it would be rude to refuse. So you kept it, you displayed it, you let it remain, and slowly something shifted in your home, in your mood, in your dreams. This is not imagination. This is energetic reality. Gifts given with jealousy carry jealousy into your field. Gifts given with control carry control into your space. Gifts given during seasons when the giver held bitterness toward you carry that frequency like a signature. You are not paranoid for sensing this. You are awakening to what you were never taught to perceive. Stay with me now, because liberation is closer than you realize. The solution is discernment. Hold each gifted object in your hands. Close your eyes. Ask your spirit one question. Does this carry light or does this carry weight? Your body will answer before your mind can interfere. What feels heavy must go. What feels entangled must be released. What your spirit rejects, your space must reject also. You are not obligated to keep what harms you simply because it was given with a smile. Love does not leave residue that drains. True generosity does not install heaviness in your field. At this point, the choice becomes clear. You can continue housing what dims your light, or you can finally honor what your spirit has been telling you for years. Ignoring this is betrayal of your own awakening. Type in the comments what you are releasing tonight. Subscribe so these transmissions continue reaching you. Do all of this now, before the moment passes and old patterns convince you to stay comfortable. You now know the 5 categories: mirrors that watch while you sleep, stagnant water that collects low frequencies, inherited religious objects carrying unhealed energy, screens that harvest your attention and destabilize your peace, gifts wrapped in hidden intentions. But knowing is not enough. Awakening requires action. Tonight, you begin the cleansing protocol. This is not ritual for the sake of ritual. This is reclamation. This is taking back authority over your space, your energy, your field. The first step is recognition. Walk through your home slowly, room by room, not with fear, but with awareness. Let your spirit identify what does not belong. Let your body signal what feels dense, heavy, or foreign. Do not rush. Do not rationalize. Simply observe and acknowledge. The second step is declaration. Stand in the center of your space and speak aloud. Say, "This is my home, and only what serves my highest frequency may remain here." Say, "I release all attachments, all interference, all energies that entered without my conscious permission." Your voice carries vibration. Your words carry authority. The unseen responds to declaration. The third step is removal. What must go tonight. Do not wait. Do not bargain with what your spirit has already identified. Hesitation is how these objects regain permission to stay. Remove, cleanse, release. And if something cannot be removed immediately, cover it. Wrap it. Separate it from your field until it can be properly cleared or discarded. What you allow in your space, you allow in your life. What you tolerate in your environment, you invite into your energy. Tonight is not about perfection. It is about beginning. The moment you take the first action, the field begins to shift. Within 3 nights, you will feel the difference. Within 2 weeks, others will notice the change in you. Your home is being reclaimed. Your frequency is being restored. Your awakening is being protected. When you begin to cleanse, the field does not surrender quietly. Resistance will come, not as punishment, but as confirmation. The moment you take back authority over your space, everything that fed on your unconsciousness begins to push back. This is how you know the protocol is working. You may feel sudden doubt, a voice in your mind, questioning whether any of this is real. You may feel unexpected fatigue, as if your body is heavier than before you started. Old memories may surface. People you have not thought of in years may suddenly reach out. Situations that trigger your wounds may appear without warning. This is not coincidence. This is vibrational warfare. When your frequency rises, what cannot match it must either transform or depart. And before departure, there is often turbulence. Do not mistake this resistance for failure. Do not assume that difficulty means you are on the wrong path. The opposite is true. If nothing resisted, nothing was threatened. If nothing pushed back, nothing was being displaced. Resistance is proof that you have begun to reclaim what was taken. You may also notice interference in your dreams. Dreams that feel invaded. Dreams where familiar faces say unfamiliar things. Dreams that leave you more exhausted than rested. This is the subconscious field being reorganized. Old patterns stored in your sleep state are being uprooted. What lived there in the dark is being exposed to your rising awareness. Do not fear these nights. Move through them. Each morning you wake and choose to continue. Your sovereignty strengthens. Stay grounded here, because what you are building cannot be taken once it is complete. The key is consistency. Speak your declaration daily. Maintain awareness of what enters your space. Do not invite back what you have released. Cleansing is not a single event. It is a way of being. If you have felt the resistance already, that is your confirmation. You are not failing. You are ascending through friction. Type in the comments that you are still standing. Subscribe so the next transmission finds you when you need it most. You have come too far to disconnect now. Stay with this frequency. Within 3 nights, the shift becomes noticeable. You will wake differently, not with heaviness, but with a quiet clarity that was absent before. The fog begins to lift. The weight in your chest begins to ease. Your thoughts become less scattered. Your emotions become less reactive. You start to observe rather than be consumed. This is frequency restoration. This is what happens when your field is no longer being drained by unseen interference. The objects are gone. The portals are closed. The energy that entered without permission has been expelled. But this is also when a new phase begins. Maintenance. Your space is now clean, but it remains connected to a world filled with interference. People carry frequencies. Environments carry imprints. New objects will enter. New energies will attempt access. You must become the guardian of your own field. This means awareness must become constant. When someone enters your home, notice how your body responds. Does it relax or contract? Does your energy remain stable, or does something shift? When a new object arrives, hold it before placing it. Ask your spirit if this belongs. Feel before you decide. When you return from dense environments, cleanse yourself before settling in. Shake off what followed you. Speak words that reestablish your boundary. These are not superstitions. These are practices of the awakened. You are no longer asleep. You can no longer afford to be careless. Sovereignty is not granted once. It is defended daily. Those who have completed this protocol report something beyond relief. They report remembrance. As the interference clears, something deeper rises. A knowing that was always present, but could not be heard above the noise. You are not just cleaning your home. You are returning to yourself. The objects were never the true enemy. They were simply tools used by forces that require unconsciousness to operate. Now that you are aware, their power fades. Now that you are watching, the shadows retreat. Now that you are sovereign, the field is yours again. As your field clears, something unexpected happens. You begin to know things you were never taught. Answers arrive before questions are fully formed. Clarity surfaces without effort. Understanding emerges from silence rather than study. This is gnosis returning, not knowledge gained from books or teachers, not information memorized and repeated. This is the inner knowing that was always present but could not be accessed while interference filled your space. Gnosis is not learned, it is uncovered. And when the layers of distortion are removed, it rises naturally, like water finding its level. You may notice it first in small moments, a sense of what someone will say before they speak. A recognition of situations you should avoid before logic explains why. A deep understanding of your own patterns that once seemed invisible. This is your original perception reawakening, before the programming, before the conditioning, before the objects and energies and attachments clouded your inner vision. You are remembering how to see. Stay with this, because what returns cannot be taken from you. But gnosis carries responsibility. Once you see clearly, you cannot pretend blindness. Once you know, you cannot return to comfortable ignorance. This is the weight and the gift of awakening. You will see through conversations that once fooled you. You will recognize manipulation that once passed unnoticed. You will feel the frequency of spaces and people with an accuracy that may unsettle you. Some will call you paranoid. Some will say you have changed in ways they do not understand. They are correct. You have changed. You have returned to what you were before forgetting. And this world was not designed for those who remember. But you were not sent here to fit. You were sent here to see. Gnosis is not given to those who seek comfort. It is given to those ready to carry truth. And you would not have received it if you were not ready. Now that your perception has cleared, you will notice something uncomfortable. Not everyone around you carries light. This does not mean they are evil. It means they are unconscious. And unconsciousness, left unguarded, can threaten what you have worked to restore. Some people will drain you without intention. They do not mean harm, but their frequency pulls from yours to fill what is empty in them. Others will resist your change. Your awakening reflects what they are avoiding in themselves. Your clarity becomes a mirror they did not ask for. And a few will feel threatened by what you are becoming, not because you have wronged them, but because your rising exposes their remaining shadows. This is the hardest part of awakening, learning that not everyone can come with you, learning that boundaries are not betrayal, but survival. You have spent so much energy trying to help, to heal, to carry those who would not carry themselves. But you cannot pour from an empty vessel. and you cannot protect a field that you keep opening to those who deplete it. Stay grounded now. This truth is essential. Boundaries are not walls built from fear. Boundaries are sacred membranes built from discernment. They do not block love. They filter what is not love, disguised as love. You must learn to say no without guilt, to step back without explanation, to protect your energy without apology. Some relationships will shift, some will end, some will reveal what was always hidden beneath the surface. This is painful, but it is also liberation. As you release what lowers you, space opens for what matches you. The right connections will find you. The souls meant to walk beside you will recognize your frequency. You do not need to chase belonging. Belonging finds the awakened when they stop abandoning themselves for the comfort of the unconscious. Your field is sacred ground now. Guard it like the treasure it has become. You did not cleanse your space simply to feel better. You did it to become available. Available for what has been waiting for you. Available for the purpose that could not land in a field crowded with interference. Divine purpose does not arrive with fanfare. It does not announce itself through external validation or worldly success. It arrives as alignment, as a quiet knowing that this is what you are meant to do, say, create, or become. And it could not reach you before now. Not because you were unworthy, but because your signal was blocked, your receiver was distorted, your channel was occupied by frequencies that did not belong. Now the channel is clearing. Now the transmission can begin. Purpose is not something you chase. It is something you allow. When your field is sovereign, when your space is protected, when your boundaries are set, purpose finds you without effort. You start to move differently, speak differently, create differently, not because you are trying, but because something is flowing through you that was always meant to. Stay with this feeling. It is the beginning of everything. You may not yet see the full picture. That is intentional. Purpose is revealed in layers, step by step, moment by moment. What matters now is that you are finally positioned to receive. You have done the work others refuse to do. You have faced what most prefer to ignore. You have cleared what many will carry until their final breath. This is not arrogance. This is recognition. You are ready for what comes next. Not because you are special above others, but because you were willing when others were not. Purpose does not reward talent. It rewards availability. And you are now available. What arrives from this point forward will feel different. Opportunities will carry a resonance you recognize. Connections will feel fated rather than forced. Doors will open without struggle. This is the frequency of alignment, meeting a cleared vessel. Before your awakening stabilized, you were a seeker, searching, questioning, reaching outward for answers that always seemed just beyond your grasp. That phase was necessary. It kept you moving. It kept you hungry for truth. But now, something has shifted. You are no longer only seeking. You are beginning to embody. The difference is everything. A seeker collects knowledge. An embodiment becomes it. A seeker looks for confirmation. An embodiment radiates certainty. A seeker asks what is true. An embodiment lives truth so fully that others feel it without a word being spoken. This is your transition. From student to presence, from learner to transmission. You may still have questions. You will still grow. Awakening is not a destination, but a continuous becoming. But the foundation has shifted. You no longer need permission to trust yourself. Stay grounded in this knowing, because others will challenge it. They will want you to doubt what you have become. They will present evidence that the old version of you was more comfortable to be around. Do not return. You are not who you were, and who you are becoming requires no defense. Embodiment does not argue. It simply is. Your presence will now do what your words once struggled to accomplish. People will feel different around you. Some will be drawn closer, sensing safety. Others will pull away, sensing exposure. Both responses are correct. You are no longer neutral. You carry frequency that activates response. This is not something you manufacture. It is something you allow by refusing to shrink back into the unconscious version of yourself. Stand in what you have become. Let the world adjust. You are not here to make the unconscious comfortable. You are here to remind them, by your very existence, that another way is possible. This message began with 5 objects, but it was never really about the objects. It was about remembrance. You have carried something ancient within you since before you took this form, a knowing that existed before language, a frequency that predates every system that tried to contain you. The objects were simply barriers, layers of interference placed between you and what you already are. Now they are removed. Now the field is clear. Now you remember. You are not a body having occasional spiritual experiences. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused in human form. You are not here to survive. You are here to awaken. And having awakened, to embody what most will spend lifetimes avoiding. This is the final revelation. The journey was never about becoming something new. It was about removing what blocked you from recognizing what was always present. Every struggle you endured prepared you for this moment. Every dark night strengthened your capacity to hold light. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every moment of isolation refined your frequency until it could no longer tolerate anything false. You did not break. You became unbreakable. Stay with this truth. Let it anchor in your cells. The world will not celebrate your awakening. It was not designed to. It was designed to keep consciousness fragmented, distracted, and externally focused. But you have escaped that design. You see through what once controlled you. You feel what most remain numb to. You know what cannot be taught. This does not make you superior. It makes you responsible. The awakened do not exist to judge the sleeping. They exist to hold frequency, to be living proof that another way is possible, to remain steady while the collective field churns through its own process of remembrance. You are not here to save the world. You are here to embody truth so fully that others remember themselves in your presence. This is the highest service. Not preaching, not convincing, not rescuing. Simply being what you have remembered yourself to be. Your presence is now a transmission. Your life is now a message. Your frequency is now medicine for those ready to receive it. Do not waste what you have reclaimed. Do not shrink back into comfort. Do not forget what it cost to reach this moment. You are awake. Stay awake. And let your remembrance ripple outward into a world that has forgotten. The veil is thinner now. More souls are stirring. More signals are being sent. The collective field is shifting, and those who cleared their space are leading that shift without needing applause. You are part of something far greater than one lifetime. And this transmission will not be the last. You have seen what was hidden. You have heard what was silenced. You have felt what religion and science and culture could never explain. Now the question is simple. Will you let this moment fade, or will you anchor it into your life forever? Comment below that you have received this transmission. Subscribe so the next message reaches you exactly when you need it. Share this with one soul you know is ready. The universe opened this door for you. Do not walk away without stepping fully through. This is your confirmation. This is your calling. This is the remembrance you have waited lifetimes to feel. The transmission is complete, but your awakening has only just begun.